All right, I think we are live. Guys, just give me a minute. Okay. Uh, so, how are you all, guys? I hope you guys are doing absolutely fine. Now, let's start. Let's start building this application. As you know, we are building a terminal typing test kind of application, just like Monkeytype you must have seen in the, web browser. So we are going to do that. So let's go, let's build that thing. Okay, I'll directly just start building it, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Okay, all right, I hope the mic is set. You must be getting the voice properly. And let's go. I want you to like the stream, and if you have any questions, feel free to come. All right. Feel free to come. Okay. Okay, then let's start. Okay, so what we are going to do use as a browser. Okay, we are going to use Crossterm. Okay, will we use this Crossterm crate? Definitely. And another thing that we are going to use is do we need serde JSON that we can add? We need to see the documentation of Crossterm, right? And what else? What else do we need here, guys? Rand crate. Uh, I'll explain all these things. Why do we need it? I'm just keeping the documents handy. All right. And how can we forget clap crate if we are building a CLI application, right? All right then. So serde JSON, clap, rand, and crossterm. These are the crates that we are going to use. Let's go ahead. Uh, projects, YouTube. All right, now I'll create new project. Let's call it Terminal Monkey. Okay, let's go on Terminal Monkey and do this thing. All right, so we are here. Uh-huh. All right, so here we are. Hello world. Okay, how to do that? So if you are building a CLI application in Rust, we need to handle arguments that is provided by the user. And how do we do that? We need clap crate for it. So basically what I will create is it's not a kind of a event loop thing where then application will keep listening on to the user's terminal. So it will not be like that. Instead it would be something like git command. You must have heard or you must have seen, right? On the terminal, when you type something like this, git status, right, it shows us the what are the file that are untracked, right? It shows the status. So we are going to build something like that. See, when I type git status over here, git is not running somewhere, right? It's installed in my system, but it understands these commands, right? Whenever I start with git, if I do a git add dot, I do a git commit, I do a git push, I do a git status stash, whatever, diff, whatever. So we are going to build something like this. Okay, so Our command will look something like this. Our command will look something like cargo run. I'll pass in the arguments like this. I'll say start, and I'll pass in some 40, a number of words that I want to show. So let me just show you. If I go on Monkeytype, what I can see here is I can see a set of words, right? These words, okay, uh, like this. Okay, I can see these words, right? So this, so you see, currently, if I go onto the words, I can see there are 100 words, right? So the command that I'm showing over here after the start are basically words, will be words. So we are going to build something like that, okay? And yeah, let's go and let's build first of all a basic thing, kind of, clap application that basically takes the input, shows some output based on these parameters, okay? For that we have to install these crates, right? Clap, I need clap, uh, uh, I need features derive, okay? Come on, come on, come on. What I need a rand crate, right? Let's go. What else I need? I need Crossterm, right? uh, let's check. Okay, so clap is feature derive. Awesome. uh, let's do first of all the basic structure of this thing, okay? I'll create a folder over here that says CLI, okay? Inside this I'll create node.rs, and I will also create cli.rs. Oh my god. cli.rs, okay? On the mode I'll add this thing, right? On the main, what I can do is, come on, why is this thing behaving so funny? I'll say mode CLI, right? What the heck, man? Okay. CLI. Let's go inside CLI and start building this thing. So over here, what I'll do, I'll create a struct, okay? That will take the arguments. Over here, what I'll do, because I need to create the sub commands, so I'll say commands. All right. The commands would be enum. So say on the enum I can have start, right? It would be a struct that take words, right? Words could be u32. Yeah, for now let's take only start command. So this start would become a sub command like this, as I shown, right? I'll do something like cargo run start like this. Okay, so the start would be the sub command or command, right? And 40 would be the number of words. So basically this will mapped with this struct. Okay, let's call few macros over here. Debug and parse. Okay, I think parser we have to use. Parser, right? And we need sub commands as well. Okay, and over here what I can choose is command. I can say name, description, and where do I have to pass the sub commands? I can say terminal monkey. Or maybe I can, say monkey cool nomenclature. A terminal shipping test application. All right. Okay. Expected args instead of command. Yeah, we'll see on the documentation. Over here, what I can say is derive, debug, and sub command. Right. This we have to figure out what do we have to pass over here. So let's go on to the collab documentation. Where's the documentation? Where's the documentation? Does repeat year in degree affect job opportunity? It depends. If you have skills, it hardly affects. But again, if you don't have any skills, degree won't matter too. So okay, clap for subcommands, right? We already have this enum for subcommands. Ah, cool. So command and subcommand. Okay. Uh, Are we missing something? Parser subcommand struct command subcommand. Command subcommand command subcommand. If I do this, okay. Uh-huh. So let's see this is in action. I'll call it on the main, right? I'll say let args equals CLI, right? Use create parse, okay. And if I want to say println, oh man, just give me a minute here, someone is calling. Oh, come on, man, what happened to the camera? Camera. Oh, so what's going on? Where is my another window where I can see the all right, so let's see how it goes. So we have this thing, right? Now let's see if we print this thing. Let's do this. Oh man, okay, so the args is start words, right? So this means it's working. So if I do 450, then hello world arguments are start words 450. Okay, now because it's an enum, so what we can do based on the command type, we can just use match statement args dot commands, right? And over here I can say start. Is it? Okay, so what I can do over here is I can just on the start, what I can say, I can just show the random words, right? For that I have to create a constant, right? So I'll do something over here that shows the text for test, right? We'll show the text for text. Okay, now we need some random words, right? So let's go. Let's inspect this thing and see if we can get anything. If we can get anything. Network tab. Let's go for fetch. Hopefully we'll get something. Words. I get it. I get it. Like this, right? So we have this word. So if I can just copy those, right? Let's copy all this thing. Okay, let's copy all these words. So we'll have a store of kind of words, right? And over here I can just say let words expected an item. Okay, these are the words, so let's go on the main. Let's go again over here on the constants. What I can do, I can create this thing and I can say but why mode.rs words.rs. Create src. Now that's what I did. Or src words mode.rs. Okay, now I got it. So I have this constants, right? You see guys how much this compiler is letting me suffer. But again, let's see. I still have something. Cool. Words is never used. So we have around these words, right, that we can use with us. Okay, so we have to create another module over here in which we will create our tests, right? The functionality of tests. So let's go over here and create what should we create over here? Let's name it test. Test, and let's create mode.rs, and over here we can create test.rs. All right, here we have to create on the test. What we'll do, we'll create this thing, right? Now we have to figure out how will be the data structure of this thing, because we have to basically, so this will be our test. So what we are going to do is we will kind of maintain a target, right? A target that will be a vector in which we will push everything, right? So will be a vector, will be a vector of string, and we'll have words because we are going to access that thing, right? So it hardly matters, but we need a target, right? And we also need something that will be generated, that will be shown to the user. Okay, so these will be, I don't know what to say that, because it will be a target where user will type and it get pushed, and probably it can we can say it typed. No, you know what, the typed would be, and target would be which will be mapped against, right? Target will have some set of random words, and type will be the vector where we'll have to, let's play with some lifetimes. Now let's extend this implementation. Build test, of course, we have to do this, right? And will return it will return a self, because this is what we are going to use, right? So test, now few things to note over here is whenever we do a new, so we have to assign a target, right? So basically target will be the one where user will see some random words to type, and typed will be the one where user will type onto, right? So target will be the vector by whom we will match the typed thing. Okay, and so now we have to return this thing. So whenever I do a new, that means I'm already assigning this thing, or probably I should make them empty right now, right? So I'll say typed as this and target as this, right? Okay, now what? So now we have new function, right? So that means we'll have the reference of test. Okay, now we have to create few methods over here. First of all, we need to create whenever I start a test, there will be some random number set of random words generated, so it don't have to be necessarily public. Call it generate random, right? It will take a self, because it will going, like it will mutate this thing, so I'll call it mute self, right? And I'll get the length as well. And it will return a a result of vector of this thing and this thing, right? Now here I will just use a rand crate. Okay, I'll use rand crate, and that crate will generate some numbers, and based on that number I'll fetch it from the words. Use rand crate to generate some random indices for vector. Okay, and over here I can say public function st start. I'll get the length over here, and it will return a result of what, bool and box. So we have to remember that we have to also use the rand crate as well, so make sure we do that. Okay, so we have the start test over here, and what else do we need? When I do start test, it will generate some number, then it will show, and as soon as I type, it's gonna check for the keystrokes as well. All right, that we have to figure out from the Crossterm crate. Okay, so let's do this for now. Whenever I start test, I'll be passing a length over here, and this is going to rent. Now here's the thing, now that we are working with cross term, right? So we have to use some methods of cross term create in order to print to the buffer. So there are two methods in it. One is execute, so it provides a macro that we'll see in the documentation, but for now let's see very high level info about it. There are two methods provided by this this create cross term. One is execute and another one is queue. And you know when I do an execute, it will directly flush the changes to the buffer, and the queue will just it doesn't directly flush, it adds up to a queue and then flush it all together on the terminal. Okay, the flush means execute all the things to the terminal, right? Just like in the database, whenever we write set of queries and we at last we flush it, right? So we flush means it makes sure that it gets transmitted basically on the terminal. So yeah. So basically from here our class is thought test, and this will call this method that will generate some random numbers. So why don't we do that? Why don't we do that? So for that maybe we can just run on some loop maybe, right? And the loop will go from this length, right, like this, 0 length, right? And over here we can generate random numbers and fetch the item from the words constant. I hope you get it. So I'll say index would be rand this thing, right? Random. Now here is the thing, because I need those words, so basically put this, and here I need to provide a range as well, because I don't want a range that will be out of bounds of that words array, right? So I'll say random range. Okay, the range would be length, right? I hope this is what it gets, right? Range, okay, length, and what it returns is the index dot nothing. And what I can do here is I can say self dot target dot push. Here I have to push that item, right? What is this thing? Is it push, 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 push? Now I need the random word. So I'll say let random word equals I'll say words index, right? And I can just push in the random word. Okay, over here I'll have this thing, and after that what I'll do, I'll return self dot self dot target. Trade bound is not satisfied, impl trade sample, blah blah blah. Hello, 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 hello. Nvim, Nvim, Nvim. Start. It's Nvim, buddy. Uh, let's go on to check the RAN documentation. Uh, okay. Hmm. Expected. Okay. Required by this bound in random range. Or would be there. Required by a bound introduces not a noise, 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 noise. Well, good luck. Good luck, good luck, good luck. Bye. Okay, I use this or this to create a generated goal. So let's say that OSRNG is not available. Let's create now. Ah, noise, noise. There's a like. That is good. That is good, man. That is good. Uh, just give me a minute. I think I got a comment somewhere. Uh, so I got a comment on my short that I uploaded. I'm just revolting. Just give me a minute, man. Cool. So thank you, Bezel Paul, for commenting. I really appreciate it, man. Yeah. To use you must enable OSN feature in your cargo terminal. Okay, so I think I have to do this. So probably feature OS range. I have to install it like that. See, if you are using a rand crate, so make sure you are cryptographically safe by using operating system's entropy. And to do that, you have to use this feature of OSRNG, random number generator. So if this feature is enabled on your rand crate cargo.toml, then whatever you generate over here is cryptographically safe, crypto secure random number. Okay, let's enable this feature OSRNG. Let's go over here and do a cargo add rand OSRNG. Okay, let's see how it goes. Unrecognized feature. What what am I doing it right? OSRNG. Okay, now this part is done. So what we have to do over here is let's use this OSRNG. So I'll say let RNG is equal to OS RNG. I don't think we have this thing. So probably this is not available. So we have to, I don't know, man. Okay. So now I have to show this thing onto the terminal, right? So what we can do over here is either, so basically if I want to use Crossterm, I need to have a standard output, that variable from which I will either flush or I will execute. Okay, and that handles the terminal event. So if I do something like execute clean this up and move the cursor position to 0 0, then this entire thing will be cleaned after the program runs. So it helps in creating CLI application and to control the terminal. Okay, we'll see that documentation, but let's first of all see and show that thing on the terminal. So I'll get this thing, and what I can do over here is let's say let target equals self dot generate random. I need to pass in the length length. And the good thing about using results is I can always do this thing, question mark. Why should I do this? What is the purpose of this? I'll tell you now. So Whenever I do this question mark, it helps us to propagate the error onto the calling file. Okay, from where this function is like has been called, it propagates the error basically. So whatever error I get over here, okay, whatever error I get over here, for only those types that returns a result. So over here, whatever I have used doesn't return a result, so I cannot use question mark over here. But this entire function returns a result, so I can use question mark over here, right? So if any error comes over here, the question mark propagate the error to the main file, and then I can handle those errors here, right? So yeah, so it's like a idiomatic way to do so. Okay, so now I need to print this thing, right? So let's do a quick test over here. Let's say target, and I can just do a target over here. Unwrap. No? Cool. I can do that. Let's see if I get the random words each time. I have the set of 200 words, right? So uh, let's say I want 5 random words. No. Something is. Oh my god. I forget this thing. I think this will work now, right? Let mute RNG equals. No? Nothing. Nothing. Uh, I get this. The trade bound is not satisfied. Okay, now here we go. Cannot be indexed by U32. And why is that? A 0 will be included, right? So probably I should do this. Uh, and not simple empty range. Okay, so inclusive range, right? So the range is inclusive and also exclusive. Exclusive. So exclusive means 0 to 9 over here, is it? And inclusive means this. Okay, so it's all right. We don't have to do this. We don't have to do this. Uh, cannot be indexed. Slices indices are of type U size or range of U size. Cannot be indexed. Got it. You know what we have to do? Probably we can just, we can just say to vec. Does that make sense? Uh, and still cannot be indexed by U32. Hmm. Let's see. Uh, 0 and 2. But I have something like this. What? No, 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 no. Hmm. So basically I have to take this thing, right? Probably now I can uh, not be index. Let's see what it says. Mutable reference cannot move out of left or target. Get the value moved here, right, right. I cannot take it, no, because I need something else. So lifetime A defined here. What then? Target does not live long enough. It's borrowed. But I found a main. Should I clone this? uh, why is generate random even a method? If you are trying to return a value, just make it a function. Well, we don't really have to do this as well. I mean, I'm just kind of, separating it. It's like it's not necessary. That's like I didn't say that it's a must thing that it should be a separate function. It's all right. You can do everything over here. Doesn't matter. You can do it like this. Problem solved. You can do it like this. Let's see. What do we get? Nothing. Because we haven't called this method. Uh, so let's go over here and we can say test dot start test. We need to pass in the length, so I can pass words right now because it's returning something, so probably we should match this and don't have to really do anything over here, but on the error I can just match our body without braces, no sounds, buzzes. What? Okay, now let's see, should I exit this? I'm getting only one, but I should get around 4 things, right? I'm not saying don't use functions, use them. Well, main thing is you are now meddling with ownership of target. The method part is me saying you don't need itself. Yep. I'm not saying you don't use function, use them. Okay. Just use an associated function if you want namespace seek. Yes. Right. Yep. Got it, man. Thanks. 1 2 1 2 0. Bro, the heck. Am I missing something? So, GDWR, how you doing, man? Hmm. Are you learning Rust or something? Good. What issue you have got at the moment? Yes. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Okay, so BB end of. Okay, now let's remove this thing. Uh, now let's see if we get some random words. The BB, the BB off of the end of the. Okay, now because the length is very small, so this repetition would be there because I'm just using like kind of getting the random on 4 things, right? Like the length is 4, so the chances of repetition are maximum here. Now it won't be any issue if I do this. Right. Hey bro, what keyboard are you using? It looks really cool. Yes sir, Control L. Yes, 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 I know that, but it, like, I have the habit of just doing like typing it, typing clear. Yes, it's Kinesis Freestyle 2. Freestyle 2. So what's your name? GDWR. What should I say you, man? Thanks for being here on the chat. Griff. Noise. Griff. Thank you for being here on chat. I'll do Control L now. Okay. So here we have this thing, right? Now let's see. Here we have to now use some, that we are using Crossterm crate. So we need something, this thing, standard out, right? Just to flush the changes onto the terminal. So let's go and read the documentation. Let's see how to use this thing. So we are going to use cursor, keyboard events. Yes, of course, we are going to use keyboard events because we need to track what key a user is pressing so that we can match it against that string slice. Colors, of course, we are going to use colors. Every wrong word will be typed red. Are you going to make the sentence follow some structure with noun, verbs, etc.? It feels like you compose a more semantically correct sentence just from picking from buckets of words in order. Yeah, I'm not planning to do that right now. See, if I go on Monkeytype and I refresh this thing, so it's also a kind of a random words, right? Because the like, take, and general, number, may, tell, she, write, very, I. So I'm kind of following that thing. I have that constant file, and I'll just show random numbers over it, and when the user types, I'll simply match and figure out the correctness and all. So answer to that would be no. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, how did you get classes in India? Did you have to pay customs? I'm thinking of getting an advanced stage 2 here as well. Yes. Uh, so like it's been a gift from my manager. So, but I paid the customs, but he paid this thing. So I paid around 4 to 5,000 on the customs, and he paid in the amount of this keyboard. But yes, if you are like kind of trying to get it here, then you need to pay customs. Okay, so we need these things. First of all, a cursor module that we will use, because few things that we will do. Module, we need keyboard events. We don't need mouse events. We'll work around keyboard events only. Style, definitely we will use it. Okay, now there are two different ways to execute commands. Command execution, is this what we are? Okay, I think this is what we need to do. You can pass a custom buffer implementing this right to this queue operation. Okay, the command will be executed on that buffer. The most common buffer is standard out. Okay, this is what we will use. Okay, we'll use this thing IO standard out, and then we will perform all these things. So because these operations are kind of heavy if you flush each time, so the better approach would be to queue them and flush it on the end of a function. Okay, or whenever the drop is implemented on that function. So you can do that. Cursor move. So we'll use this macro queue. We'll pass in this thing. We'll pass all the operations like that. Clear all. It will clear the terminal. Okay, this is the command. In the given order from left to right. So first of all, terminal clearance will happen. Then the cursor will move on to row 5, column 5, and then finally it will get flushed. Okay, so you can see the changes. Wow, that's awesome, dude. Big thanks to your manager. That's an amazing gift. Yes, 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 yes. It's an amazing gift. Right. So I only like, when I was purchasing it, I only said that, okay, I can get this in India from Amazon, but the seller looks very fishy. So I said to my manager that, okay, can you order it? I'll just, either, do some, I'll pay you, or, you can just do that some balances on my funds. So he said, it's all right. You just pay the customs and I'll do the rest. So yes, the keyboard and the manager is amazing. For many applications, it's not all important to be efficient with flush. Why? If you need some few operations, then you know you can directly execute or maybe use this execute operation so that it flushes on the next step. But if you want your app to be really efficient, you can use this queue macro. Okay. Right. So I think we have some sample code over here that we can definitely use definitely for this thing, right? So let's create this variable over here. Okay, I know. Okay, so we can pass this thing over here so that I can, show it on the terminal. So we have words and I can pass this thing over here as well. And over here, I can have, maybe I can just say out, mute std out. Expected one on to, why is that? Hmm. Anyways, uh, let's see few things. If I'm using this thing, right? So let's test out few things. First of all, let's clear everything before the start of the application, right? And print some, instead of hello world, maybe I can just remove it. Now I will not use println. Okay, I'll directly flush those things onto the screen now. So let's do that. We'll take help of this thing. Okay, I'll say execute. This is provided by Crossterm, right? And I need to pass this thing. And I can say clear all, right? So maybe I can just copy this thing. Clear and clear type all. Clear and clear. Wow, this is too much. Clear type all. And so left to right it will go, right? So now here what I need to, is this like that, or okay, so it is from left to right. Okay, then I'll clear and then I'll move the cursor to 0 0, right? So I'm just kind of imagining this thing, right? So I'll use cursor dot move to cursor dot move to 0 0, right? So it will go on the very edge of this thing. Okay, this will execute. What I'll execute does is execute indirectly calls flush. Okay, so the second thing that we can say over here is after this thing I'll say execute, I'll pass in the out, standard out, right? And then maybe I can say I can use a foreground color as green or something, right? Do we have any color thing over here? Magenta is this. I don't need this thing, right? I didn't know. I need something like foreground or this thing. Color. Module style. Let's go on to the style. Okay, amazing. Foreground color blue, background color. I don't need to set that. Of course, we have to reset to the default colors always. Print blue text on red. So I'll use set foreground color. Okay. I'll say set foreground color. How's this? I'll have to use this thing, right? Color color green, right? And here I have to pass in print, right? And on the print, the print is something else over here. Print is from the cross term, okay? And I can say enter to start test, right? I can say that. So basically execute and all these returns a result, okay? So maybe we can do this over here, right? So that I can use if I use this, probably I'll have to use this thing. Is not allowed. Expected enum this. Okay, now these arms are kind of being like this, right? So the main purpose is I can do this now because these execute and queue things, they return a result, right? Either I use match on everything or I can hello. It says they will execute in the given order from left to right in the docs. Yes, from left to right. I like kind of get it wrong. From left to right means first of all it will like execute, then this will execute, and then this will execute. So yeah. Hello, Mishal. What is up? Long time no see. Might be best to write logs to a file, or you can redirect them as tmux or something. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see, brother. We have reset color, right? Let's or maybe let's not do this. These are the part of enhancement. We can always do these things later. Let's call this thing now. Let's create uh, let's copy this. So give me, okay, so I'll be available on mic. Let I have something. Okay, so I'll close my camera for few minutes. Mic is on. Okay, so I can do enter to start test, or maybe I can say Q to quit the test. Now I'll monitor the keyboard events. Why I am saying so? So after these, all these things would be, you know, reset. So let's see how it looks. So it will get cleared, I think, and it says enter to start test, Q to quit the test, and then I am getting the target. Okay, probably I can just, I can't this one do the same thing. Mm, and now that I have, अभी लगेगा time थोड़ा. Okay, so I can see this thing. Now this thing has to be shown like this thing, Monkeytype, right? Like this. So let's see. This we have to convert it onto a single string and then show it. Right? So we have passed this thing, right? And what we can do over here is instead, okay, so I'm passing it on the target, right? So later on I can just verify it. So instead of this thing, I can just execute. Out and foreground color. What was that? Set foreground color, right? Foreground color. Eh? What happened? Set foreground color. Over here I can say color dim. What it needs, man. Color. How can I get a dim color like that? Any idea? Any idea? Maybe I can just, you know, if I can just use function from stylize, red on blue. I can use println as well. So we have to basically make sure that we reset everything, because whenever I do something onto the terminal, it gets like propagated to the next thing. So we have to make sure we reset everything. Okay, styled content, we can do that with on attribute. Yeah, this one. This thing, right? uh, okay, and I need to print, right? So here I have this vector, right? Now what I need to do is I need this vector to be printed like this thing. So let's see if I say self dot target dot join. Does that make sense? Yep. Let's execute this thing. One thing to note over here is my battery is low, so I have to plug in the juice. Okay, so as you can see here, as soon as I hit this thing, the application starts. Oh, sorry, the application starts, but it quits, right? But I don't need that. What I want is I should be seeing this thing, and my cursor should be over here on for, and I should start typing from here. Okay, to do that, what we have to do, what we can do, well, we have to think about it, right? uh, think about it. Hmm. Okay, so it gets clear and I see this, and start test q to quit the test. So basically at initially I should only see this thing, not this. So I need to track the keyboard events. As soon as I press enter, this should be called instead of calling it directly, and then this app should run. Okay, now before like going into all these things, let's see how we can kind of stay on this application. There will be loop involved, of course, but also we have to see how we can, uh, get the keyboard events. Okay, so on the main over here, as you can see, instead of directly starting this thing, here we can listen for keyboard events. Okay, let's see how we can see the keyboard events. Let's go on the module events. So the event module provides the functionality to read keyboard, mouse, and terminal resize events. The read function returns an event immediately or blocks until an event is available. The poll function allows you to check if there is or there isn't any event available within the given period of time, and the subsequent function will block or not. Okay. So what we are going to do? Either we will use read or either we will use poll. So using poll makes sense here because it says read is a blocking event, right? So let's imagine a scenario where wherever like where I start this application and I doesn't type anything. Because I doesn't type anything, the applications would become like stale, right? Right? But if I want to make it real time, so what happens is whenever I type something, then I stop. Okay, so the application will be kind of a blocking because I'm using the read event to read the events of my keyboard, right? But if I use poll, that then I can use a kind of a parameter in it that kind of uh, restarts that loop after those milliseconds passed, or it goes inside that function or a filter that we'll use, as you can see over here, like this match read. It's a loop and we are using match read. It's a blocking event, right? If I use this thing if poll and provide a milliseconds kind of a parameter to it, what happens is it doesn't necessarily wait for the 500 milliseconds. It will wait on 500 milliseconds only if there is no events. As soon as it receives the event, even after on the second or third millisecond of this duration, it will go inside it, and then I don't have to wait on the read. Why? Because the event is already available. So I can just add a few events over here, like what key has been pressed or something. So let's modify this function a bit because we are going to use this thing, so that way we'll see something. Enable bracketed paste, enable mouse capture, enable. So one thing we have to also note that if we want to type whatever we type on our keyboard, and if we want to show it on the terminal, we have to enable raw mode. Okay, and few beautiful things that we are going to see over here of Rust. Okay, we'll see it. First of all, we'll implement or initiate a raw, it will enable raw mode of the terminal so that I can type in and you guys can see it over here, right? Second thing that I can do is I will create a custom drop trait so that whenever the program goes out of, whenever that thread goes out of scope for this program, the drop gets called and it will reset the terminal back to its original form. Otherwise, if I ran the application and the application turned on the raw, like enable the raw mode, then that raw mode will be enabled as long as the terminal session is going on. So I close the application and starts at typing something, the terminal will all like behave like a raw mode over here. Okay, until I close this window or close the terminal or give it a refresh. And so we don't want to do that, right? So we'll create a drop trait for this so that it gets called. Okay. So let's go on the start test method. Let's update this thing. Okay, here what we'll do, we'll use loop and we'll wait for the event whatever the user pressed. If it pressed enter, will perform something. If it doesn't press, I'm feeling flippy. If it doesn't press enter, how's the video going? It's nice. Who is watching the stream? Make sure you say hi. What? I received 11 likes on that short, man, that I uploaded. Nice. Noise, man, noise. That's good, man. So guys, this thing is going to be crazy, right? Whatever we are doing, this thing is crazy. So are you with me on this? Are you with me on this? Don't guys, I need you on this one, man. Connect encoder. Come on. We can do some chit chat if you want. You know, we are going good, man. We have 2 likes. That's a good start. All right. Oh, let's jump on to this thing. Okay. On this start test, what we are going to do is, instead of looping it over here, just show one thing. So yeah, let's call this off for a minute. And over here, what we can do is basically we need to check for the events, and as soon as a user press enter or Q, we have to just break it. So we'll loop it on here and listen for the events, right? We can say this, if task future Crossterm event poll, and we want a timeout, so I'll say duration dot millis. I'll pass in, let's say 50, right? So if it's true, over here what I can do, I'll match on read, right? Otherwise, if it's not, then it will again start it from here, right? As soon as the timer just say, okay. Now here I need to match the read. So here event dot key event mouse event. I don't need to think about my mouse mouse event, but I need what I typed. So key event would be this. What do you think? Key event? Event, key event, right? Let's go and check this thing. Okay, a key code, I think, represent a key. This is what we need. Represent an event, a key code. Let's search for key code. It's an enum. All 27 variants are here, right? Backspace, enter. Wow. We need enter. So we'll track this thing. If it's enter, then only we'll start this random generation. If it's Q, we'll we'll quit care. This is, if keycode.char c represent C character. This key can only be read if keyboard key code care. We can use a key code, but I need to see the code, man. I need examples. A key event, a key code. Okay. Inside the key event, I have a key code, right? Inside the key event, I have key code and the key event kind as well. So if I go inside this and check for key event kind, press repeat release. So basically I have to check for release events. Too many things. I need to check for release, right? So basically I am having an idea how to track the keyboard events. Maybe this release I will use it, because as soon as I release the key, it should get tracked. So I'll use this new event kind release. Well. press, repeat, release. Maybe I need to filter out all these things over here as well, right? On the read, I need to check if key event kind is basically release, then I can also event kind, right? Why am not able to see the code, man? I need to see the code, please. Is press is a release bool. Okay, so maybe I can use this function, you know. Let's see. Enable raw mode, that's all right. Poll, of course we are using poll. Yep. If let event key, so yeah, this is what we need. The read, I think, no, it's an if let event, right? Event. I think event, I already opted for read, right? Okay, makes sense. Let okay, I need the key, right? If let key yeah, this is it. If let event, if let event key equals read. Okay, and I can say key dot kind if key dot kind equals press key event kind, right? Key event kind dot press. Key event kind dot press. Maybe I can just, you know, I can do either ways. If I say you know how it works, right? I can say if key dot kind, right? Key dot kind equals key event kind dot release. I can say continue, right? So this is what it does, right? I hope you understand it. I could say this and start implementing this thing over here. That's what I was saying, like at the earliest. But the code example doesn't use this, it uses this. So both are valid. But yes, a few things over here. There is another case that is released, not released. If I go inside it, repeat. So if I use release and continue, then it will work for repeat as well. Okay, so let's see how it goes. Not very sure if this is going to work. Here what I have to do, I have to check what kind of key is pressed. right? So I'll match on the key code now. I'll match on the key code now. So if it's enter, Q means break, right? And up is up arrow, down is down arrow, and blah blah blah. So what I can do, if key code enter, if user pressed enter, then I'll start the test. I will start the test. If key code is it character, right? Probably I can say this, then I will quit. Okay, so I will quit from here, right? So, and I have to adjust these case as well. So what I can say, for everything, I don't want to do anything other than these two. Okay, I need to pass in a bool, right? So probably after the loop, unreachable expressions. Expected this to be this. Now here I'll start the test, and we can just, I can say this thing, and I need to this. So any code following this expression is unreachable. Okay. It's mismatched. So basically, if I want to quit it, I'll have to use process. exit. Okay. And I'll see this. So I need to, implement a drop rate for this as well, test as well. So if I go on the main, I can simply say uh, enable raw mode. It returns a result. Right, this is how it's done. Okay, enable raw mode. So maybe either over here or either over here or after hitting an enter, I can say enable raw mode. Over here, what I can say now, if I did an enable raw mode, after generating everything over here, I can now move the cursor move dot. Is this how it's done? Move to column, because the row will not get updated, only the column will, right? So I'll go to the column 1. Right, I'll go to the column 1 and then I can start typing. What? Cursor dot move to. Okay. Cursor move to column. Column 0. I want it to go to the column 0. Okay, so it gets this thing. Noise 4 people, and I'll join it with the string. Then I'll move the cursor to the 0. Okay, so as you can see, currently this is over here. Now once I do this, now the program will simply not exist, but it will be on the loop waiting for my key events. Okay, whenever I press enter, this gets shown. So unlike this previous thing that you have just watched, that all thing are, everything is on the one go, it won't be there. Now it will wait for my keyboard events. So let's do body, clear everything, come on. Yes, now it will wait. Okay, let's first test the fail case. If I press Q, it should exit the application. Nice, but it's waiting for my enter, right? It's waiting for my enter. Why is that? Why is that? should be like working on the release. When I enter, now when I enter, you see this thing is shown. That means the test is started and the cursor is on M, right? Now let's see if I can type on more. Okay, I cannot type it. I cannot type it. Why I cannot type it? I need to make this work, right? I need to make this work. First of all, few things to note over here is I need to make this thing bigger. Uh, I hope you guys are seeing it. Okay. So you see the cursor is over here now. As soon as I type it, let's see what happens. I'll have to type. So I'll have to like create an illusion that a user is typing on top of it, just like user do here, right? Like this, right? So I have to make something like this. Blah blah blah. So it will be something like this, right? So if I type something, it will be green. If I do a mistake, it will like it will become red like this. Okay, I have to handle the backspaces as well. So how we will going to do this? It's simple. We already have this vector, right? We'll maintain the vector of typed. We'll kind of check all of these things. Like we'll iterate on that thing and we'll check whether the typed is same as the target. Okay, but first we have to make sure that it works because I cannot type it right now, right? I cannot type it right now. How to do that? Actually, I'm seeing my OBS over here. Okay, so if you are wondering what I'm doing, let me just show you. You see that? I'm watching my OBS for the audio and video frame rates. How are the frame rates and all? So I just go there. I hide the OBS like with this checkbox, so you can't see it. So that looks good. Okay. Now I need to listen for more events, of course. So I need to make sure that I type something. To do that, we also have this thing, right? Currently, you can see we have handled only two cases, that is enter and Q, right? We have to handle another case over here that works on all the keyboard events, right? So if I say key code here, so we have to figure out what event tracks all the keys, right? What event tracks all the keys? If I type C in over here, this means it will check for all the characters, right? Now that I have used the characters, what we have to do is we have to keep pushing this thing into whatever I see, into this thing, that part, right? But I need to show you guys what I'm typing, so probably I should say like use this thing. Let me yank it, paste it over here, and on top of it I will call green. I want to show you how this looks if everything goes well, right? And do I need to print C? Yes sir. And I should remove this thing, right? Okay, now let's see. Control C this thing. Oh man. You. Okay. And the control C is also not working. Let's see. Oh, ho, ho. You see why I did that? What happens? If I press Control C or Q, what the heck, yeah. See, I enabled the raw mode, but I forgot to disable it. So that is why the raw mode is enabled and I can see the control like this, like over here. So we have to make sure that it get the terminal get reset. The other thing to do is I close this terminal and I open another one. I open another one and else now see this control is working. So that's why we have to implement the drop trait. If I go, now you can see enter to start test. So if I press enter, the test is started. Can I see it? The you can, you see guys, it's green and I'm tapping on top of it. So this means we can, yes, do this thing, right? And now, but we have to make sure that whatever we type will be only green if the items are matched, right? If the tests we perform are okay. But here you can see everything is green even if I type the wrong word. On typing the wrong word, it should print red, right? So let's quit this thing. Okay. uh, let's clear this thing and go over here. So over here I need to match few things. Okay, I need to match if we are going like kind of doing it correct or not. To do that we have to match the items on it, but first of all we have to keep pushing this thing onto the this thing as well, right? So I'll say self the typed vector as well, because this is what I will map it against, right? Self dot typed dot push. Now I need to push C, right? So whatever I type will get pushed, even the space as well. Okay, and when I do a backspace, this item gets popped from here. Okay, so let's handle that as well. So if I do a key code backspace, do we have backspace? Yes. Then what I need to do is I need to self dot typed dot pop. Okay, I simply need to pop, right? Because the latest item would be on the end of it, right? Okay, so found character expected this thing, so that means we have to update this thing, right? So instead of this thing I can simply make it yeah. Okay, I hope it's not an issue now. Okay, this has been pushed onto C. Why I pushed it? Because I need to handle backspaces as well, so that is why it's an urgency to put on this thing, because as soon as I press or do a backspace, it gets popped and you get a chance to edit your mistakes to get that word correct. So here I need to check now. So what I have to do, I have to check the uh, typed from the target. Okay, not typed basically. I have to check whatever item I'm like kind of typing. Okay, so if I say now, here is a thing, because I have a target vector, right? a target vector that I can basically typed of vector vector of character. Uh, so how will this work? So basically, if I have this thing and if I have this thing, right? So this is my target and this is my typed vector, it keeps on increasing or something. So let's say it has A, it has B, it has C, space D, space E, G, F, right? And it says A, B, C, E, F, okay? And but this is string slice, right? So probably I have to loop on this array, get this string slice, and then perform a check over here, index by index. Makes sense? Does that make sense? What if I enter space? That's already there, right? That's already there. Let's see how it goes. So for uh, item and index in self dot target. Okay, I have this self dot target. Now what I need to do is I have the vector of typed. The main question, I don't want to clean up here. So the main question that arises here is I have that entire word. I have that word on that array. If I get that string slice and I push every time on the typed, so typed become a very this thing. So how do I get the index of that thing? And index that I'm doing over here is index of that. You know what? Instead of maintaining this thing, let's remove this thing over here from here. Let's not use this thing because we will use this thing over here, character, right? Because I need to map those things. So word by word or index by index, I have to map and make sure that it overlaps. Otherwise, it will be an error. If I get a random word, right? And I don't need to join it over here. What I can do is I have these things, random word, target. Now that is ugly. This is ugly, man. I can say let mute target you know slices vector is basically I won't initiate it right in, I will just initiate it right over here. Instead of doing this thing, I can say target slice. Okay. Maybe I can have this as a vector of right. Now what I can do is target slice, right? So what I can say is self dot target equals uh, target slice vector. Uh, so this thing is vector for me. Dot so this is a vector of this thing. I'll have that string. Just wait. Dot join this, right? Then I'll have a string and I can say chars. A string to vector of chars. String to vector of chars. Rust. Dot collect. Okay. Right now I have this thing. So now what I can do is basically I can just simply say target over here. No, not a target, sir. I'll say target slice vector dot join. Cool. Now the target will have the vector character. Now here what I can do is I'll have this item and all, right? Self dot target. Another question for Google. Get item and index. Okay, iter dot enumerate. This makes sense. So I'll have this thing. Here's iter enumerate, and I'll have the index and value. I can have the index and value dot iter dot enumerate. Okay, so I have the index and value here now. So now what I'll do something over here that is the the core logic of that thing. I'll say if self dot target index equals value, then I'll print it out on this thing. Else uh, else foreground color is red, and then I'll print C, but I need the underline attribute so that I know that okay, the cursor is going that way. Mhm. Hmm, 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 hmm. Expected care, and I get this thing. But that's not. Uh, okay, let's not do this thing. Let's make things clear here. Hmm. So value. So the value here is I think this is good. Into item. Cannot move. It is a behind mutable. Move the values out of vector. Borrows the vector. So I think this is good, right? I can use a mutable borrow. Okay, and I got a mutable care. I don't need this. Okay, it will print red and green. I need to set attribute underline on cross term, right? So let's go on the crate. Maybe I can see some attributes. Attributes, 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 attributes. No, no, attributes. set attribute, so over here what I can do is I can set the attribute of underline, right? Set attribute, uh, attribute underline, underlined. Okay, so this, I hope this makes sense here. I'll check whether the values, they overlap or not. If they overlap, it means the user is typing right. If it's not, then there is an error. Let's see. Enter to start the test. Let's enter. Let's say, oh my god, what is this, man? What is this? Ooh. If I press O, oh man, it's get pressed like crazy. What is this? What is this nonsense? Why this is happening? Oh man. Shit. It will be typed, right? It will be typed. I was just like matching it with the same same vectors array. Uh, thread main panicked, index out of bounds. The length is 1, but the index is 1. Hmm. Okay. Now here is the thing. Typed C, and when I type, now here is the thing. You know what? We mapped it on the wrong place. Basically, its work is done. It get pushed onto that vector. But every start of this loop, basically, every start of this loop, as soon as the duration passed, we have to call this thing over here. So maybe we can say self dot, draw a kind of UI method or something. This draw UI basically will create our this will have our function. Okay, I'll pass in the out as mute st out count keyboard. C. Now this thing is messing. here we have the issue that where do I get C, from where I'll get C. uh, instead of C, what we can do is on the start of this thing, on the start of this method, either I can clear everything and reprint everything, because everything will be on that typed array. So I need to make sure that typed array is there, right? And as I type something, this is where it all ends. I mean, we are good here, so hopefully we can continue this thing later. I mean, 90% work is done. We have to make sure how do we maintain like this thing, this draw UI. Probably on the next stream we can continue. It's getting late. Thank you everyone, whoever joined. Now I'll just leave. I hope you get it right. We are tracking all the events over here and pushing on to the typed array, and later on every loop we'll kind of redraw the UI. Okay, to redraw the UI we have to first of all clear everything up. That's what I'm thinking, and then print the typed thing and then color code it basically if it's correct or wrong. So we'll see it next time. Okay, bye guys, nice meeting you all. Thank you very much. I'll see you on the next stream. Bye bye.